Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck. My name is Adam Arduna. This is my mom Gina.
He is the journalist.
And she's the enthusiast.
And she's enthusiastic because we're talking football.
Yes, we both have our Chiefs gear on today.
Chiefs.
This is a very football-centered show. Today we're definitely going to be talking about the NFL because that's what's going on right now.
Thankfully.
It's NFL season. It's also college football season. But today we are talking about the NFL. And so we're going to go ahead and break down actually all of the divisions within the NFL. We're talking all 32 teams, but not just in this episode.
You know why? Because Chiefs fans are sophisticated. We can talk about more than just the Chiefs. That's why.
We can root for our team, but also know what else is going on with other teams around the league. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing today.
Chiefs fans are sophisticated.
Very sophisticated.
All right, let's get into it.
So we're not going to talk about the Chiefs side of the draw right now. We will talk about the NFC. But so with that, we'll start with the NFC North. And so the first teams out of the NFC North, okay, we've got the Green Bay Packers. We've got the Chicago Bears. We've got the Detroit Lions, and we also have the Minnesota Vikings. Those are all very great teams.
That's what you call old school football right there. Football. Bears, Packers, Vikings. I mean, that's just old school.
Yeah, it's
Lions,
awesome. Vikings, yeah, it's awesome. Detroit, man, a lot of history within all those teams.
That is right
and
there.
So let's just jump right into it right now with that first part of the division. Those are some really good teams, all Super Bowl caliber teams. Who's your favorite? Do you want to start with who your favorites are? Or do you just want to kind of?
Well, I kind of thought, let's talk a little highs and lows, and we'll rank them at the end.
Sure. Okay, great.
So highs and lows. Obviously, with the Vikings, you got Teddy Bridgewater and AD over there.
Yes.
He had his issues a couple of years ago. We're not even going to bring those back because if we're just talking strictly talent, you are looking at the absolute best running back in the league.
Correct.
And that's actually saying a lot because the league has now come back around, and there are good backs in the league. We had a little drought there where it was kind of coming a solely quarterback receiver league. We've got backs out here, and we'll get to some of the other ones. There are a lot of good players in the backfield, but the best player, hands down,
at running back, Adrian Peterson is,
So you've got him and Teddy Bridgewater, so I think you've got a lot going. For me, the low there is the defense. Not that they're not a good defense. I don't see the breakout stars, and I don't see the complete defense. And I think the issue for the Vikings is not going to be scoring points. It's going to be stopping other people. So there's my high and low. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the difference that they have had in the past is the fact that, or that they haven't had in the past, I guess what you say, is a franchise quarterback. And that's in Teddy Bridgewater. The guy's a proven winner from the college ranks. And even now, this is his third season in the NFL. He led his team to the playoffs last year. It wasn't his fault that they lost that game to the Packers. I believe it was the Packers that they lost to, that last second field goal.
Rivalry,
there wasn't anything that he could have done besides just...
He did his job.
Maybe just be out there on that play. But
we'll play every position.
Exactly. No, but they have Cordell Patterson, Stephon Diggs on the outside, Kyle Rudolph at tight end. Their offense is going to be great. Like you said, the defense is really their main question mark there. And it wasn't the Packers, it was the Seahawks.
Oh, that's right.
That was the Seahawks.
Right. But I knew it was a last second.
But it was a good team that had a good quarterback, and it was a last second play. But anyways, the Vikings have a great opportunity. If they can shore up the defense, like you said, they'll be a team to be reckoned with. And they got a new stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium.
Oh, finally, because they were playing
$1.1 billion.
They
were playing at the University of Minnesota Stadium.
Right.
And now they've got a brand new place to call home, and it looked awesome last night.
Let's just hope that's not a distraction for them, because they do need to shore up that defense.
They do.
Let's move down a little bit. Let's talk about Chicago. The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
I was growing up in the 80s, like every other we all had crushes on the Bears. I mean, seriously, Jim McMahon.
Sweetness. He had the
they were just a swag. They were doing the Bear Shuffle.
Yes.
They are not that anymore. I love you. I love you. Listen, you've got Jay Cutler. He's married to a teenage reality star. She's not a teenager anymore, but those of you who remember Laguna Beach, then she went on the hills, Kristen Cavallari. I'm not hating on the man for who he married, but I think it says something about kind of where they're at. You know what I mean? Jay, you've got some talent. I don't think you are a winning quarterback. I know that sounds really personal, but that's just my opinion. Until the Bears get a winning quarterback in there, they are not going to win. Strength for the Bears, I will say this, is defense. I think that they've got a good shutdown kind of defense.
Sure.
I don't think they're going to score enough points to be a challenge for anybody.
I would agree with basically everything on that point. The high for their team is actually Coach John Fox. He's a fantastic coach. He got the Panthers back in the 2000s to the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme. He got the Broncos to where they needed to get to with Peyton Manning. Unfortunately, he wasn't with the team last year, but that was basically his team that made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
The Bears was a great spot for him. This is his second season. I agree with you. Jay Cutler is not probably the quarterback that's going to lead you all the way to the promised land, but he has some talent, so that makes it worse because he'll be able to do some things, but you know at the end of the day that's probably not the guy that's going to get it done. So their offense needs some help. They didn't look very good against the Chiefs the other day, and if anything that they can hang their hat on, like you said, is their defense. So if there's a high for me, it's Coach John Fox, and then their defense, offense, they need a lot of work. But they'll get better as the season goes along.
Well, why don't you go first and take the Packers?
Okay, yeah, the Packers. You know, they're going to have a rebounding year after last year. They didn't quite have the season they wanted to, even though it seemed to be on ESPN Top 10 every night for the Hail Mary plays that they continue to do. As long as Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, they always have a chance. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. Jordy Nelson is back. Eddie Lacy looks to have another good season coming out of the backfield. Again, their biggest thing has always been defense. So if they can shore it up on defense, they're always a Super Bowl contending team. And I like what they have this year coming back. What about you?
Just in the interest of time, I'm going to hit you with a ditto because that is honestly word for word what I was going to say. Having Jordy Nelson back, and like you said, having Aaron Rodgers, you're always going to be a contender.
Sure.
But I think that puts it all together. Again, defense, I don't understand what they're missing, but they're missing the shutdown. Oh, no, I lied. I can say they're missing the shutdown corners. They're in a league where you've got to be able to defend in that secondary, and I think that's one of their holes.
Well, yeah, I agree. Mark McCarthy's a great coach, and Charles Woodson was there when they were at the Super Bowl and won it that year, so they're missing that leadership back there.
All right, finish this out.
So, all right, well, we got Detroit Lions that we still have left, and man, I don't know what you would call it, but it's just a curse. The Detroit Lions curse.
I'll tell you what it is. I mean, it's the Barry Sanders curse.
The Barry Sanders curse. Matt Stafford is a great quarterback. He's got arm talent like nobody's business, but they've lost a lot of pieces, especially on the defense, and then on the offensive side with Megatron, Calvin Johnson being gone. I just don't know what they've got going on. They do have some young guys trying to fill in, you know, Amir Abdullah, Nebraska guy. There's a lot of decent young depth, but they're just not quite ready to take on those veteran teams, those full firing teams. I just don't see them making a lot of noise this year. 2 years ago, they almost made it to the playoffs, or I think they made it in the first round and lost, but it's going to be a while for them before they're back to relevance.
Well, 2 years ago, they had Ndamukong Suh, who they let go. And I'm just, again, another ditto, but I'm going to expand on the Barry Sanders curse. They did him so dirty.
They did.
This was the best running back who ever played the game, and that is my opinion. And then instead of letting the man trade and go to a team where he thought he could win, they forced him to retire. He had at least 3, if not 4 good years left. You do Barry Sanders dirty, you're just not going to win.
I agree.
And everything else.
Greatest running back of all time, in my opinion. So it's hard to.
I'm sorry.
You can't do that to that guy.
Well, it's time to rank.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of time, so.
Exactly. All right. So with that, I'm actually gonna go just from, if you're gonna go with last year's team, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I thought they finished the year strong.
You're saying they're number one.
They're number one right now, coming out of the NFC North. I am gonna go with the Green Bay Packers. They're gonna be the top 2 teams. And then you got Detroit and Chicago. You can flip-flop for whoever you're going to have that 3rd and 4th spot. I would say maybe the Bears and then Detroit just off of that. How about you?
I'm going to go real quick, and I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to go Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears. Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears. That's how I think they're going to shake out.
And it's going to be a tough division because all those teams are right in there. They're all very middle of the road, but have potential to be really good, and so you just don't know until
I think there's a little separation between Vikings and Packers and Bears and Lions.
I agree with that. The bottom two have a lot of work to catch up with the top 2. That's for sure.
All right.
Well, with that, we've got a lot more NFL talk we're going to bring you here, so just stay tuned. We're going to continue to rank and give analysis about these the other NFL analysis. We thank you for your time, and thanks for watching, folks.